A question we get all the time from people is, can I put this product in a foamer? Can I put it in a foam cannon? Well, today we're gonna go through 10 different products to show you, can they be foamed? Stick along with us to find out. We got all kinds of products here that we get asked about regularly about whether it will foam or not. So starting off with probably the one we get a lot, the Invisible Glass glass cleaner. We're gonna start with this one. With these trigger bottles, you'll notice they have like a lock on them, that's so they don't spill in shipping. If you ever try to get one of these caps off, all you gotta do is grab it from upside down, like this. It spins right off because there's a ratcheting mechanism right here that holds it in. So if you grab it down low, you're holding it into the ratchet. You grab it up high, it doesn't. So another little quick tip there. I'm gonna pour this Invisible Glass right into a foam cannon here. Now, of course, all these are gonna be diluted with a little bit of water as they're spraying through the foam cannon. And the amount of foam is going to change based upon how much water you're using. So if we dilute something more or less, that's gonna affect the amount it's gonna foam. We're just gonna pour them in here straight, spray them through the foam cannon. If it foams at all, you kind of understand that you can mess with the dilutions to get whatever kind of foam you're desiring. But honestly, we would never suggest you put Invisible Glass in a foam cannon, but for the sake of the video, we're going through a couple of them here. Screw that on here. Put it on the foam cannon. All right, remember the truth. So as you see, it's foaming up a little bit, but watch how quickly it'll dissipate. The foam here is more or less coming just from agitating all of the solvents and all the ingredients of Invisible Glass onto the surface. But you'll see how it does not stay foamed up for long. The reason being is that there's no surfactants in Invisible Glass. There's a lot of glass cleaners out there that will use surfactants to be able to clean the dirt or debris from the glass you're trying to clean. Invisible Glass doesn't have any surfactants in that, which is great because if you're using the glass cleaner out into like sunny weather or a hot piece of glass, it'll evaporate the glass cleaner pretty quickly. And surfactants that make the foam are also the thing that leaves a residue behind in your glass. Invisible Glass won't leave any soaps, streaks, dyes, anything like that on the glass because there's no soaps in the glass cleaner. Now you just see, now it's coming back to like perfectly clear here. If you just poured Invisible Glass into a pan and just evaporate it all away, it would be perfectly clear. That's kind of how we got the name Invisible Glass. There's nothing in it that's anything but invisible. So as you'll see, we can let that dry. It's not gonna be water spotted or anything like that. All right, now moving on to the second one is gonna be the Invisible Glass Clear Plastic Cleaner, which is a little bit different formulation, and we'll see how that affects its foaming ability. We have a different foam cannon here. Pour that into here. All right. Now let's see how Clear Plastic Cleaner foams. All right, now Clear Plastic Cleaner. Now see how this has a lot more suds that'll stick around longer. That's because the Clear Plastic Cleaner actually has some surfactants in there to help with cleaning clear plastics. It's more of a necessary thing for having for that application. I'm knocking over my setup here. But you'll see this is the kind of stuff you'd have if your glass cleaner had soap in it. Obviously, you're probably not running your glass cleaner through a foam cannon all the time, but imagine it was a hot day. This would actually leave a residue behind, but those surfactants are necessary when cleaning clear plastic, so you're not really gonna get around that too well. All right, so the next two we're gonna do is gonna be the iron remover and our waterless wash. Let me unscrew this one off. All right, so the first one we're gonna do on the right-hand side here is gonna be the iron remover. As you can tell, serious amount of foam because our iron remover, we put surfactants in here to add lubrication to make that slipperier when you're clay barring a vehicle. So certainly a lot more foam compared to doing the Invisible Glass Clear Plastic Cleaner. Now the waterless wash. This also has a lot of foam because the waterless wash is going to have a lot of surfactants in here to help clean the vehicle as you're spraying on, breaking down those soils on the surface of the vehicle to make sure you can remove them without scratching it. So you can tell the iron remover, certainly a bunch of surfactants, waterless wash, pretty similar as well. Different combinations, different types of surfactants that are used, so that'll all lead into how stable the foam is, how long it foams for. I'll rinse these off and we'll jump on the next two. Something else to consider, one thing you can notice between the two sides, the iron remover is just designed to decon that paint, clean it down to a bare surface, not leave anything behind. So you'll see the water is just sticking to the surface. Whereas the waterless wash is designed to leave a little bit of protection behind afterwards. So you'll notice the water runs off the surface, dries the paint a lot faster. So kind of hard to see because, again, we didn't really use the waterless wash concentrate. We diluted it with water here, but the water's definitely running off. Whereas over here, it's just staying flat, wet surface. So moving on to the next one. All right, so the next two we have here is going to be our leather cleaner and wheel cleaner. You wouldn't really think leather cleaner would be something you put in a foamer, but hey, that's what the video is, so let's try it out. So first one is our wheel cleaner. Obviously a ton of surfactants in that one. That's going to foam up really well. Now this one's pretty interesting. It's a leather cleaner, but it's an all-in-one leather cleaner that cleans, shines, and protects. So let's see it. This is thick. So you wouldn't think a leather cleaner would foam up, but because this is an all-in-one that cleans, shines, and protects, there is some surfactants in there that are going to help clean the surface of your leather before it puts on the protectant. And this is thick. I don't know if you can even see that in there. It's not something you would expect to be foamed on anything. I wouldn't even suggest foaming it on. Use it as a trigger bottle as it comes. But if you're curious, it foams a little bit, but not going to stick around like you would see like a wheel cleaner or anything like that. As you see, just 10 seconds passes, that leather cleaner is just completely flat versus the foam that still sticks around on like the wheel cleaner. So just gonna rinse that one off. The leather cleaner is definitely leaving behind some protection even on paint. Not designed for that by any means, but it just goes to show that the cleaners still leave protection behind. Getting down to the final ones here. This one's going to be Power Clean Interior Detailer, and then we're also going to do Trim Shine. We got Power Clean Interior Detailer. And then we have Water-Based Trim Shine. All right, this one surprised me. I was expecting the Power Clean Interior Detailer to kind of look like this, but I wasn't expecting Trim Shine to. It's Power Clean Interior Detailer, that has some surfactants, has some soaps in it to help clean that interior, but the Trim Shine doesn't. And here we are, it's still staying stable. I don't know if it has to do with the silicone emulsion or what that is, so I'm gonna talk to the lab and we'll post a comment either in the video or top comment or something like that. Check that out, because that was an unexpected result for me. Let's rinse it off, let's get to the last two products. All right, now finally down to the last two. We got the all-purpose cleaner here we're gonna put in there. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the team thought, you know, we should mix it up, put something you wouldn't expect in every one of these like Will It Foam videos. So from Lancaster County, a little Turkey Hill iced tea. Will it foam? Let's find out. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but we'll give it a go. This is such a waste of Lancaster County's finest. I think to nobody's surprise, all-purpose cleaner. Foam's great, as expected. All-purpose cleaners have a lot of surfactants in there. Certainly gonna foam. And we gotta be the first ones doing this, right? Iced tea in a foam cannon. Just in case you're curious, I know you didn't have a use for it. That actually surprised me. Because, you know, you shake iced tea and you get the foam in there. But you spray it through a foam cannon and no foam. I thought it was strange, but hey, there's something I wouldn't have expected. Now let's get this iced tea off here before it starts to get sticky. So in conclusion here, a lot more products than you would think foam, and you run them through a foam cannon. So if you're not trying to sit there with the trigger and spray the product, you can always try putting it through a foam cannon if you can dilute the product, or you can put it into like a IK pump sprayer or one of these ones as well. And you can foam products on a lot of them as long as you can dilute it and dilute it to the right amount. Try using it in another area, maybe it'll be a little bit easier for you to use. I think it also goes to show just because you can shake it and it foams up, doesn't mean it's gonna foam when you spray it through a foam cannon or a foamer. So I might have learned something a little new there today. It's not what I would have expected. But let us know in the comments down below, what do you want us to see foam next? What are you curious about? Will it foam? Thanks for joining us in this one. We'll see you in the next one.